For thousands of years, the ancient Greek myth of Orpheus and Euridice has inspired countless works of art, literature, and music, symbolizing the themes of love, loss, and the power of music. One of the most famous musical interpretations of this myth came in the 18th century, nearly 1800 years after it was first recorded in Roman poetry. A German composer, Christoph Willibald Gluck, was known for his significant contributions to opera during the early classical period. His best-loved opera is based on this famous Greek myth, first performed in Vienna for Queen Maria Theresa in 1762. In the myth, Orpheus was the son of the chief muse, Calliope, who presided over eloquence and epic poetry, and Apollo, the most beautiful of the Olympian gods, who presided over music and the arts. Orpheus' music was so enchanting that it could charm animals, plants, and even inanimate objects such as trees and rocks and rivers. He fell deeply in love with a beautiful nymph, Euridice, and they married. However, their happiness was short-lived. Tragedy struck shortly after their wedding, when Euridice was bitten by a snake while wandering in the woods. Euridice died, leaving Orpheus heartbroken and unable to play his lyre due to his overwhelming grief. Determined to bring Euridice back, Orpheus ventured into the underworld, a place from which no living soul had ever returned. Armed with his lyre, he charmed the old ferryman Charon and the three-headed dog Cerberus, allowing him passage through the realm of the dead. The desperate searching by Orpheus for Euridice serves as a central scene in the opera, which Gluck entitled Dance of the Blessed Spirits. In the middle of this famous dance, a haunting melody emerges, featuring a flute solo, accompanied by strings. In this melody, one can hear the pleading and longing of desolate Orpheus searching for his wife, and its yearning beauty has inspired numerous performances and instrumental transcriptions to this day. A musical transcription is an arrangement of a musical composition for some instrument or instruments other than the original. And one of the greatest challenges in playing any musical transcription is the consideration of the marked differences in sound created by different musical instruments. How do you communicate by means of a single piano the musical experience and emotion created by the sound of a flute, accompanied by an orchestra, when a single piano is only capable of a very different palette of sounds? The piano cannot, of course, become a flute, much less an ensemble of strings, woodwinds, brass, and other instruments. Therefore, the best one can hope for in a piano transcription is to somehow elicit the mood and emotional intent of the original composition by means of the very different sonic resources intrinsic to the piano. The most performed piano transcription was composed by an Italian composer and pianist, Giovanni Sgambati, in 1878. As you listen to the melody, think of the soulful singing breath of a flute. This exquisite melody charmed the god of the underworld, Hades, and his wife Persephone. They agreed to let Euridice return to the world of the living on one condition. Orpheus must not look back at her until they had both emerged into the light of day. As they ascended, Orpheus, overwhelmed with joy, mixed with doubt, turned to look at Euridice just before they reached the land of the living. In that instant, she vanished back into the underworld, lost to him forever. This moment of weakness sealed their tragic fate, and Orpheus was left to mourn his loss, wandering the earth in perpetual sorrow. The recording you just heard of my playing was re-performed on one of Steinway's revolutionary new Spirio Model B grand pianos, which can record and reproduce every finger stroke on the keys at a sampling speed of 800 times per second at 1,020 dynamic levels of volume. A technological achievement resulting in playback so authentic that it is indistinguishable from live performance. One can analyze and critique one's performance far more productively than when one is not focused on the act of performing. For an in-depth demonstration of this remarkable piano, please visit one of our showrooms in West Newton or Waltham.